try this. Wow.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Wow, so this is cold storage.
It is. It's cold.
In a highly secure, climate-controlled vault in Los Angeles, Ann Morrison tuning is a guardian of some significant rock and roll history.
The Jim Morrison archive.
It is. That's what we got.
Her brother, Jim Morrison, lead singer of The Doors, died 50 years ago. He was just 27. But he left behind boxes filled with journals, poems,
Riders on the storm.
handwritten lyrics of what would become hit songs.
Looks like an album cover almost.
I know.
photo,
It
doesn't
could be.
There's Morrison's passport and family photos.
Here's Jim and his cousin
At a door.
at a door.
How old was he when he drew that?
He was probably 18.
And a drawing he made of his younger sister.
Jim self-published his own books.
Tuning has now put much of what she found in the vault into a nearly 600-page book, The Collected Works of Jim Morrison. As well as lyrics and journals, the book includes poetry by Morrison never before published. Growing up, he seemed destined to be a poet, which Tuning didn't think was a good idea.
No, who thinks their brother can make it as a poet, you know?
Morrison suddenly became famous in 1967 with The Doors' first hit, Light My Fire. It happened so fast, Tuning didn't even realize who she was hearing on the radio.
I got a package from my mom. It was just an album cover, and I opened it up, and the front was my brother, front and center. And so I knew then that he was Jim Morrison of The Doors.
How surprised were you?
Awestruck. I mean, who would have guessed it? You know, envelopes and napkins. You know, he's the classic writer you read about, right?
One of the pages Tuning found seemed like a message from her brother.
Here's the one that inspired me. Plan for book. You know, I thought he wanted to do it, so I guess we can do it, you know. So that's when we started.
One thing fans will discover is under the dust jacket.
Hard to see, perhaps, but it says...
James Douglas Morrison. Because Jim published a lot of his own things in that name.
And do you think Jim would have been happier in some ways being James Douglas Morrison, poet, rather than Jim Morrison, rock star?
Well, sometimes he spoke of it himself a couple of ways, and he said maybe he wouldn't mind have been just a poet in a garden, you know, in a little house. But then he also said, the past few years, I'd never have met so many people and done so many things without being in the band. So I think he was of two minds.
In parallel